What's going on, beautiful people? Y'all, go and join my Golden Visions FX Academy chat. I got something special for my new members that join. I'll be dropping it later on in the chat. You'll be able to download it for free. This chat eventually I'll be dropping some signals in the group, just some valuable resources and just building a Forex community. So y'all join. We're going to go up from here. I appreciate y'all.
Second Big Ten game of the season for both of these teams. Our official Kelly Pfeiffer will toss it up to get us started. And off we go on a Friday night here in Lincoln, Nebraska.
And folks, man-to-man defense coming here from Nebraska. As that ball gets to the baseline side, they're going to look to double team it in the block, and on baseline drives, they come and trap it as well.
Mid-range jumper short from Myles Rice. Tapped around and Nebraska will clear it.
And that's where they're going to have to try to find offense between what we call the pipes. Free throw foul line or lane line extended right in the middle of the floor.
Nebraska, there's an early foul reaching in Ballo. But this Nebraska team coming off what Fred Hoiberg said was a very disappointing loss last weekend at Michigan State. Lost 89-52, and they beat Creighton earlier in the year. He feels like his team is much better than they showed.
Yeah, he felt like their team was actually manhandled by Michigan State, and so they had some very intense practices coming back into this, and he wants his team to play with force tonight.
You know, their shoot-around today, very spirited. Nice move inside, and boy, that's trouble. If that's on Ballo, he just picked up 2 fouls, and we've only played 33 seconds. And Fonz, that's a guy who scores 15 points and gives them 5 rebounds a game.
He extends the floor for them as well. He gives their bigs room to be able to go to work inside. He's shooting 44% from 3 on the year. It's a good call by the official.
SWB audio capture, not registered.
Smaller, quicker guys in front. Good recognition there by Brice Williams.
That is a big-time development early for Indiana. Talked about Nebraska's struggles against Michigan State. Indiana's Big Ten opener Monday against Minnesota, and Ballo and company, they were excellent. And Cruz passed the Gophers 82-67.
The good thing is this Indiana team's pretty deep this year, so they bring in Bryson Tucker, only a freshman, but coming off of a 16-point game, gives them big-time offensive juice off the bench.
Senior captain Trey Galloway with it. Catch and shoot. There is Bryson Tucker, the man you mentioned, talented freshman, but he's short. That went right through the hands of Williams, but he saves it. It's offense for Nebraska. That's what Fred Hoiberg's trademark is, but as we documented in the open, they've been good on both ends this year when they have been good. Wooster, and there's another whistle going against Indiana. This time it's against Myles Rice.
All these chase actions that they run, all of a sudden your bigs are making those passes out, and as a defender, those are really hard to defend, and you have to decide if you want to chase it over or if you're going to go one under. He tried to chase it over there and got clipped there on the screen.
Brice Williams, 6-year senior, hands it off to Gary, and Gary takes it to the rack.
Indiana caught flat-footed on the weak side. They should be over on the nail. 2 guys in the painted area. Didn't get there. That's why he was able to get all the way to the front of the rim.
Down inside, here's the Oregon transfer, Oumar Ballo.
Good questions.
And then up top it goes to Rice.
That was that double team we talked about earlier.
Take it away. Williams 2-on-2. Down the lane, attacking and scoring.
SWB audio capture, not registered.
Against Indiana. Nothing going right for the Hoosiers early.
And folks, we talked about turnovers being an issue for Indiana. What happens, oftentimes that little pocket pass is there. This team works so hard today in Nebraska on taking away those little pocket passes with low hands and able to get out in transition. Wow, the fouls are coming hard and fast and furious here early from Indiana.
All 4 whistles in the game against the Hoosiers. Brice Williams, how crafty was that?
Veteran player taking the freshman.
Leading scorer Williams already has 6. Galloway will try to quiet the crowd, and boy, did did Indiana need that?
Yeah, he's really struggled from the three-point line last year. Only 26% from three after shooting over 40 the year before. 53 on the year today. He's now 9 of 16 from three. They're going to need him to make those kind of shots if they want to get away with a win tonight.
He has been around Bloomington the longest. A fifth-year senior and a captain in Galloway. Williams fading. Well, everything is going right now for Brice Williams.
He recognizes that he has a freshman guard and is looking to take him every time he gets a chance off the bounce.
Galloway, no. Cleared out by the UCLA transfer, Buchungel.
It's a mouthful, isn't it?
It is. And here he is. He can fill it up. Oh, boy. Woodson has seen enough.
You have to anticipate that, and whoever the double man is has to follow him to the front of the rim. And when he does that, he'll either be open or that'll allow the skip pass, and he'll be able to get an open jump shot on the weak side.
Let's see what Mike Woodson goes to out of the timeout. Here is Ballo giving it up back to Galloway. There's the high-low game, and a foul will send Ballo to the line.
Those two have developed a wonderful feel for one another, and I like what Mike Woodson did. He started to run that offense out top, because when you do that in your big dives, there's not a lot of help where they have to pinch on the weak side, and that's what allowed Malik Renew to be able to flash on the interior and make that extra pass. They've got to do more of it to loosen up that defense.
Oumar Ballo, one of the top gets this offseason in the transfer portal.
SWB audio capture, not registered.
Season all Big Ten, but when he was at Arizona, first team Pac-12 the last 2 years, and he can really score it, he can rebound it at a high level.
Big and mobile, and it's interesting because he had been shooting his free throws with his right hand, and someone found out later that he's actually naturally left-handed. So left-handed star Calbert Cheney's been working with him on his free throw, and you can see he's got much better mechanics on the foul line, and he's been much more comfortable there. 8 of 11 from the free throw line in their last game.
Pretty good tutor to have, and Big Ten's all-time leading scorer Calbert Cheney, one of the assistants for the Hoosiers. Take it away. This is a speedy Myles Rice, and he finishes, and Indiana gets a little momentum.
That was created by the early help from Malik Renew, number 5 in red.
Rice was also grabbing at his right hand. Hopefully he's okay. Buchungel, and there's Rice again. Looking like Jerry Rice right now. Taking it down, dropping it off, and Renew flushes it.
That's what happens when you go on the road and you get punched in the mouth early. You have to just kind of settle down and work your way back into the basketball game. And Indiana has done that the last 2 possessions with their defense.
We mentioned it in the open, but this year Indiana's had troubles with turnovers, and Nebraska's been turning people over. But right now it's the Hoosiers kind of flipping the script there.
Like that.
Inside, that is Raleigh Wooster, the transfer from Utah.
6'5", 210 pounds. He is a bully down in the box when he's playing against a smaller guard. Nice move.
Yeah, that was all with the right hand from Myles Rice.
A little hesitation dribble froze the defense, creating that angle to the basket. That was pretty.
Another tremendous transfer that IU got in the portal. He's from Washington State, but this time Wooster drives it right by him.
There's that size advantage that we talked about with Wooster. He's going to look to try.
SWB audio capture, not registered.
Successful here early.
Ballo with a right. Out of bounds, they'll say off of Nebraska. And that'll take us to the media timeout.
Nebraska does such a great job of anticipating and getting out in transition. Brice Williams, the surly veteran, able to finish that with the left hand over the top. And then Myles Rice coming right back at you. This game is settled in. Nebraska up 7. Myles Rice, so I love the fact that they seek it out. Guys that they can exploit when they have the basketball on the offensive end. It's been really good for them here early.
Ballo giving it up to Rice. What a pass. How did he slip that around? And that'll send Ballo back to the line. Well, look, when Indiana's been good this year, we talked about the high-low game going well, but also Myles Rice, he's kind of the heartbeat.
SWB audio capture,
Really nice
not
job
registered.
create his own offense, and as you saw there, that's the thing that I've been most impressed with him this year is his vision. He gets down in the gap, draws two, and he comes off the basketball, and you can tell his teammates have gotten to be really comfortable with him because his bigs have their hands ready to catch the basketball, as Ballo did there.
Rice will get a breather. This Indiana team, they had a tough trip to the Bahamas. They looked bad against Louisville, lost to Gonzaga, but since then they've won 4 straight and played a little bit better.
Yeah, playing with a little bit more energy. If there's been one thing that I was critical of them about before the Minnesota game, especially the starting lineup, they played a little lethargic. It was that bench unit that would come off and give them some juice, but starting the first minute of that game against Minnesota, that front five was playing with some juice, and they brought that here lately.
From the deficit to 6. Brice Williams, their leading scorer, and he already has 8 tonight. He's looking for double digits. Doesn't get the bounce.
It's a really nice job by Trey Galloway fighting over that screen.
Pass deflected off of Williams, but it gets where it needs to be, and then Bryson Tucker drops it down.
What a smart play by Malik Renew, backing out of that with the dribble to skip that basketball across, and that's how they find that wide open shot in the corner. Well done.
Utungel had a look, instead he drives it and loses it. Galloway, they've got numbers, Renew, and he is fouled. And Indiana on a little run here. They'll have a chance to cut it to 1.
It's a really impressive play right here by Malik Renew. Skips that across the top, and the replacement to the corner by Bryson Tucker, the freshman, continue to play big dividends on the offensive end for the Hoosiers. I tell you what, Brandon, I love the way
SWB audio capture, not registered.
One another, rebound the basketball, the other is out looking for opportunities in transition, and that puts a lot of pressure on your transition defense because you usually have a guard back.
Indiana will go with a little bit of a smaller lineup. Ballo will sit, and the sharpshooter Luke Goody is in.
This group that comes in here usually plays with a little bit more pace, so let's see if they push that basketball a little bit more.
Malik Renew, the former top 25 recruit a few years ago, knocks down the second one, and we've got a 2-point game.
Luke Goody, number 10 in red, is guarding Juwan Gary, number 4, who's a big, really guard who can play multiple positions. I think Nebraska should look to post him.
This is Aaron Eulis, and there's a whistle and an offensive foul. Andrew Morgan called with the illegal screen.
Traditionally, as the big, you have to make sure that you're still, but the guard has to wait for you to set the screen, and at that time, Aaron Eulis took off before Andrew Morgan could get there to set the screen. That's a good call by the official.
Indiana had the first 4 fouls of the game. Nebraska the last 4. Tucker hit one a moment ago, not there. Here's Eulis again. He's running the point because Wooster has 2 fouls.
Yes.
The starting point guard. He's on the bench. Good slip in. Morgan slams it. Pull up. 15-footer. No good for Caden Carlisle. Brice Williams got the bigger Malik Renew on him. He backs him up. Looks like he wants to drive it.
Yes.
Renew, though, holding
SWB audio capture, not registered.
Defense by Malik Renew.
Guy who has been around, 3rd year in the program. A lot expected of Renew this season. Goody, yes, that's what he does. He's a 3-point shooter.
That's Trey Galloway, 32 in red, knowing exactly who's open. He gave a little fake, froze the defense, and skipped it. What a good read by Galloway.
Last 3 years in Illinois for Luke Goody, but he's an Indiana kid transferring back in state to finish his career. Williams lost it. Look at Renew on the deck. And that's going to be a foul on Nebraska. That is 2 on Morgan, so both teams a little bit of foul trouble here through the first 8+ minutes.
Coach Brice Williams doing a nice job off that ball screen. Good dive there by Morgan. No one coming over to take away as the tagger. And Goody does what he does. Drains the 3 from the left side. Indiana marching back into this game. His ability to be able to distribute the basketball as well, was able to get one to renew out in transition and then throw somebody around the free throw line area, able to lay it up. He's been terrific here in the first half.
And now Indiana's going to have a chance to grab their first lead of the ball game. Malik Renew is going back to the line. That is 6 straight fouls in this game that have gone against Nebraska.
Yeah, it's usually Nebraska that's getting to the foul line more than any other team in the league.
Indiana really does kind of have that mix of old guys and new guys. They dipped into the portal, got quite a few big talents like Rice and Ballo, but then they've got guys back, Galloway, Renew, that are kind of the stabilizers for this team.
They are, and last year, Malik Renew looked dominant at times, scoring in the paint, getting to the foul line, had a nice perimeter touch, but other times he's really struggled, especially with foul trouble. And what he's done lately is he's done a terrific job of playing with poise, playing under control, and giving you a steady dose, because he's been really consistent for the Hoosiers this year and has stayed out of foul trouble, and that's been big.
They began the season with a big ranking next to their name, and of course always high expectations in Bloomington. Nobody knows that more than their head coach, Mike Woodson. Right now they've got their first lead tonight.
SWB audio capture, not registered.
Off the heel for Gary. Goody in rhythm. He's knocked down 2 here in the first half.
Remember we talked about earlier, this second unit that comes off the bench for Indiana plays with terrific pace. It was that push that created that wide open shot for Luke Goody in the trail spot.
Indiana felt they needed to get a shooter in the portal, and they found it in Luke Goody. Hoiberg out to the corner, and Nebraska trying to get back in rhythm. Ulis from deep.
Yeah, you cannot leave strong side corner. That's how Anthony Leal just chucked a little bit, and that's what created that open opportunity from the corner.
Almost taken away. That's Fred's son, Sam Hoiberg, out there with a headband on. But Ballo, he traveled. Switched his pivot foot.
Luke Goody, you have to know where he is out there on the floor. A 38% career three-point shooter. Lost him, he made them pay. And Hoiberg done a nice job of attacking the gap. A little quick help. Ulis knocks down a huge 3 from the corner.
Ulis, a guy who started his career at Iowa, transferred to Nebraska, but had a legal issue stemming from his days at Iowa City. So he sat and practiced all of last year, and now he's out there as the backup point guard.
Brings NCAA experience to this team. Does a little bit of everything.
And 3 NCAA tournaments at Iowa. Here he is with the ball now. Essegian, the sharpshooter, Connor Essegian. Quickly the other way. No answer from Carlisle.
SWB audio capture, not registered.
Connor Essegian wants it again. He's an Indiana kid. This time he's dishing it. But the three-pointer short from Williams.
Dodged a bullet there. A little miscommunication by the defense of Indiana.
Carlisle hung in the air. Found Galloway for 3.
And that's 2 plays out of 3 where Indiana's been able to get something out the initial push. They've got to continue to try to exploit Nebraska in that phase of the game.
These two teams not known for their three-point shooting, LaFonso, but combined right now, they're 8 of 13 from long range.
What's the type of looks that they're getting, and those are ones that you get when you're in practice with someone rebounding for you, those inside-out threes, and they've been able to drill them.
Yeah, they got Luke Goody for that one. He's saying, what did I do? That's his first.
Right, that's exactly right.
Here's Essegian again. He got fouled. Almost was a 4-point play. But the Wisconsin transfer, Connor Essegian, he's not shy at all. When he catches it, he's looking to put it up.
He's not, and he does a great job of moving without the basketball, and they set him up beautifully that time, brought him off a double diagonal screen, and if you're trailing that thing and he's got space and you don't give a little stunt, he's letting it fly. He's made 2 good reads in a row to get some pretty clean looks off the foul on that one.
Just turned 21 yesterday, did Connor Essegian. Last season, he kind of fell out of the rotation in Wisconsin after a good freshman year, but he's feeling right at home here in Lincoln.
He is. The emergence of guys like John Blackwell last year kind of kept him on the bench. There was no room, and so obviously Fred Hoiberg needed a guy who can stick it, and he's been absolutely terrific for this team. 3 straight games, averaged 22 points a game, but in the last game against Michigan State, they had a guy shot.
SWB audio capture, not registered.
Different tonight. He's got 6 here early. Rice, little nifty move. Great find. There's Goody. Tapped around into the hands of Williams. Tap free, but Williams will track it down to the backcourt, and then there's a whistle. The foul's continuing to mount. That's now 2 on the sophomore Kanan Carlisle.
Kanan Carlisle did a really nice job of forcing that basketball to go in the backcourt. You've done your job. Now you just have to play smart basketball there. He's too valuable to his team to be sitting on the bench over there with 2 fouls.
You got him with 2. Of course, remember Mackenzie Mbako, Indiana's second leading scorer, had 2 fouls 33 seconds in. Haven't seen him since. Now Brice Williams at the line for Nebraska.
His dad, Henry, the all-time leading scorer at the University of Charlotte.
That is number 34, retired there for Charlotte back in 1992.
2,300 points.
Like you at Notre Dame, right?
Sir. You got me by 1,000.
You got 11 years in the NBA, though, Alphonse. So things worked out okay.
He was drafted by the Spurs in 92 of the same year. 2nd-round pick, and then went on to play in Europe for 10 years. He was a terrific player, his dad.
Rice, fadeaway, 17-footer. That's tough.
Yeah, that's hard with that double crossover dribble, creating the space for him to get that shot off. He's really, his pull-up jump shot is absolutely terrific.
SWB audio capture, not registered.
By Brice Williams. He thought Luke Goody tripped him. We got a timeout with 8 minutes left in the first half. We expected good Friday night action. A couple of NBA head coaches in Hoiberg and Woodson. And we got a 1-point game in Lincoln.
To press that defense underneath the foul line, skip it, and they've been able to find wide open opportunities there. They've really been extraordinary in that phase of the game. Well,
you go back to the Archie Miller days before Mike Woodson. Indiana did not have great 3-point shooting teams. 32% last year, a little better this year. And people think, oh, Indiana, they should have just a bevy of shooters.
Right.
I do think that they look better from deep this year.
Without a doubt.
It's knocked out of bounds. It'll stay on this end with 4 to shoot.
Mackenzie Mbako has been drilling them this year at 44%. We know Luke Goody's a career
SWB audio capture, not registered.
42% from 3. So when you have that type of capability, and if there was one thing that I wanted Indiana to get coming into this season, and that's some 3-point shooters to take the pressure off their interior guys, Malik, Renew, and Ballo, they've done that. And they've done that so far this season.
Yeah, you're right. That was a missing piece last year when Indiana missed the NCAA tournament. Essegian kind of ran into Braxton Mia there.
I think he was expecting a foul, too.
Up ahead, and Ballo can't grab it.
Let him a little too far. If you're going to make that pass, you got to make it early so that your big can run underneath it. I like the idea, though. I think this ball's got to find Brice Williams.
Here he is. Leading all scores with 9 is Brice Williams. Gives it up to Ulis. And Ulis, there's Ballo at the rim. Rice pushes. And they'll reset.
Good transition defense there by Nebraska.
Just that Fred Hoiberg talked about a shoot around, wanting to get back because Indiana likes to throw that ball quickly over the top. Galloway drives in on the angle, and he's able to draw the foul with 5 on the shot clock.
What a smart play by Galloway. He looked at Ballo, kept looking as if Ballo was going to set that screen. The defender adjusted, which opened up that right lane for him to attack. Really smart play there by Galloway.
He had off-season surgery on that meniscus in his left knee, and at the start of the year, Mike Woodson said, I was just trying to ease him back in. Like 12 minutes, 13 minutes, but now he's back to a full load out there.
Yeah, started 56 games over the last 2 years, and they really need what he brings to the basketball floor, and he is really good in every phase of the game. You can play him at the point guard spot, at the
SWB audio capture, not registered.
Deep, and that puts a lot of pressure on the guy that's defending him, because now if you're close, he drives by you, you're off of him, he knocks down the 3.
Our 5th lead change of the first half.
Juwan Gary, number 4 in white, has been awfully quiet in this game, and I feel with Goody in the game and Gardner, he's got to be able to get a couple of touches because he can play bully ball down on the inside. Some missed opportunities for the Cornhuskers.
Yeah, and LaFonso, they've been a little careless with the basketball.
Yes.
6 first-half turnovers here.
Very uncharacteristic for a team that's got a number of guys who handle the basketball well.
Fred Hoiberg last year guiding them to their first NCAA tournament since 2014. An incredible season. Off to a 6-2 start this year. Galloway trying to go way up off the top of the backboard, and Ballo follows it up.
Right place, right time there.
Oumar Ballo with 4. A little bully ball. Ulis drove it right at Rice, and he just picked up his 2nd.
Yeah, on that drive, when that basketball goes up in the air, notice no one got a body on Ballo. In that case, that's Juwan Gary, and it becomes a jump game. And I'm sorry, 6-6 versus 7-1. I'm going with 7-1 all night long.
He is a big boy, Oumar Ballo. He grew up in West Africa, and he was a goalie in soccer. Wow. And eventually he grew so tall because his mom was 6'5", his dad was 6'8". People started saying, Oumar, we think you should try basketball.
Wow.
And so he did. He left Africa to play in Spain as a teen, and then he went to the NBA Academy in Mexico City, and the rest is history. But he's just been a really nice find for Indiana.
SWB audio capture, not registered.
Aaron Ulis, the younger brother of Tyler Ulis, was an All-American at Kentucky in 2016 and the 34th pick in the draft that same year by the Suns. A little bit of basketball blood in that family.
Yeah, I would say. But he cannot connect at the line. Indiana up by 2 here as we approach 6 minutes.
Nice.
Up top, and there is Oumar Ballo.
Oftentimes the guards want to come off that thing and hold the basketball and come off of it on the dribble. What a wise play to give it to Ballo to force his guy to trail, and that's what created that open lane for Ballo to go down uncontested. Beautiful offense there by Indiana.
Deep 3, and that drops down for Essegian.
Night and day between last year when I saw Essegian and this year. He's playing with a high level of confidence.
He's got 9 in the first half. Oumar Ballo, a little push shot. Well, he's not known for that, but he knocks it down.
Well, at Arizona, he would make that one on occasion, so he's not afraid to take it.
Started his career at Gonzaga, then Arizona, now Indiana. Well-traveled Oumar Ballo. That came right back to Gary, but he fumbled it out of bounds. And it belongs to Indiana. See that alley-oop from a moment ago.
Folks, oftentimes guards wants to just dribble the air out of the basketball and come off of it, but you can actually get open if you give it to the big and able to run off it trailing, and then they threw it over the top, and a beautiful play there, and the big man showing nice touch on a nice little push shot from just below the foul line. An invaluable piece for the Indiana Hoosiers.
SWB audio capture, not registered.
Bryson Tucker, open top of the arc. And Mia clears it.
Kind of season got hung up on the screen on the other side. That's how he was able to get so wide open.
And there's a whistle and a foul against Indiana. They're going to get Ballo, and that'll send Nebraska to the stripe. Renew has been over there resting. He will replace Ballo, even though that was just his first foul.
What a luxury both of these teams have. When one of their bigs get in foul trouble, they just send a second and a third. It must be nice to have that kind of depth across your front line.
Well, in Indiana, the last couple of years, you kind of mentioned it earlier, but Malik Renew, he played with Trace Jackson Davis as a freshman. Last year, Khalil Ware. Those guys both in the NBA, and now he gets to tag team with Oumar Ballo down there. It's an embarrassment of riches.
It really is.
Yeah.
You know what, I love the game of Brice Williams, man. I think he's the dude that can play at the next level. He's got positional size at 6'6", 6'7". You can play him as a point, you can play him as a 2 or a 3, and in small ball situations, you can actually play him in a 4, and it's a mismatch for him offensively. I just love the way he plays the game. Never gets sped up.
He's the only player in double figures on either side with 10, but he misses his second free throw. Down inside, Renew spins and gets it off the glass.
Great decision there by Galloway.
Yeah, that's kind of an overlooked part of his game. Almost 4 assists per night for Trey Galloway.
SWB audio capture, not registered.
Buke Tungel kicks it to the wing. And you wanted some more from Juwan Gary. There you go.
He's been patient, waiting for his opportunity. For Nebraska to win this game, number 4 is going to have to impact it, not only on the defensive end, but on the offensive end as well. Nice cut.
Tried to throw it down to Tucker, but it went out to Hoiberg. It would have been a beautiful highlight reel dunk, but not to be. Gary trying to get it inside. Backing down Goody. 15-footer. Yes. Nebraska back in front. Goody from the wing. The entertaining first half here in Lincoln. Williams somehow finds Gary, who somehow finds the basket.
There goes that man.
Foul on Buke Tungel will quiet the crowd for the moment, but right now Nebraska surging on a 7-0 run.
Nebraska doing it with their defense, but also doing it on the offensive end as well. Able to drive in. Juwan Gary having a major impact on this game. First a 3, now a 2. Nebraska's back up 3. And you start to drive it, they're double teaming the basketball, filling the middle, forcing you to try to skip it. And that's when they're so good at playing the passing lanes, able to get out in transition. And most of their guys do a terrific job of keeping the basketball in front in one-on-one defensive situations as well.
Fred Hoiberg, of course, no stranger to this area. Both of his parents went to Nebraska. His grandfather, Jerry Bush, was a head coach at Nebraska back in the 50s and 60s. And he was born here. Now trying to take this program back to new heights. At one one-point game. Very entertaining first half.
Oh, it's been great. The ebbs and flows, the big shots, and these fans, man. Like I said, this is my first time here. I've been really impressed.
Saw that note. They were undefeated here last year in Big Ten play. Brice Williams. He started to stumble, but he's bailed out. There's a foul on Indiana.
See, he had Luke Goody guarding him. That was the same matchup that I thought Juwan Gary could take advantage of as well. Luke Goody's
SWB audio capture, not registered.
Now all of a sudden you can get an angle to the rim. I think that's something they've got to continue to exploit going forward.
Foul on Malik Renew, so he joins a couple of other players for Indiana now that have 2 personals.
This is a Nebraska team that gets to the foul line. They're #1 free throws per game at 26 free throw attempts per game in the Big Ten. They do a really nice job of mixing their drives, their posts, and their pull-ups.
That's where they're a little bit different from last year when they had Tominaga, Wilcher, some good three-point shooters. A little bit more drive and defense this year, right?
To create more possessions, especially with the turnovers.
Carlisle pulls off balance, left it short. Comes Cale Jacobson, a walk on number 31 out there. At the rim, Gary missed it. Quickly the other way. Galloway feeding inside. McDonald's All-American freshman, but off the mark there for him. Tucker out to Carlisle. He's short. Tucker grabs it, and Indiana will keep it.
Fred Hoiberg can't be happy that basketball's going up. There's no bodies on offensive rebounders. That's how Indiana's coming up with so many.
A couple of bodies hitting the deck. First it was Ballo at 270 pounds, and then there Carlisle gets called for the travel as he trips.
Parker, we were talking about their ability to defend. Look at Sam Hoiberg keeping the basketball in front, forcing the turnover.
Hey, coming up on the Ram Trucks halftime report, we'll get you to Mike Hill, Casey Jacobson in Los Angeles as they look ahead to a big
SWB audio capture, not registered.
#1 Tennessee battling Illinois.
Tennessee currently has the nation's longest winning streak at 9 wins. And I think I looked up and saw they're #1 in the AP poll as well.
You also have UConn, Gonzaga tomorrow.
Yeah.
Some great hoops. We'll talk about that at the break with Mike and Casey. Williams, shot fake, fading, had to adjust in midair.
That mid-range pull-up of his is deadly.
Looking like his pops Henry. He's got 14, does Williams. Inside, there's a whistle and a foul. And Tucker to the line.
What a smart play by Bryson Tucker. Most of the times you want to keep the floor spread, and so that skip pass would be going to the corner for a 3, but he recognizes that he's not a great three-point shooter, so he cut behind it. A nice little find over the top.
It's kind of been a game so far of mini runs and momentum changes. Gary didn't want the call, but he did get the foul, his second.
The awareness of where his teammates are by Trey Galloway continues to impress me. He's made some beautiful passes here in the first half. Bryson Tucker, former McDonald All-American, top 25 recruit. Gives them big-time juice off the bench. Had 16 off the bench in their win against Minnesota.
Mike Woodson told us today, starting to see him grow up a little bit.
Yep.
The only freshman in the rotation for what is otherwise a very experienced
SWB audio capture, not registered.
He's going to be dangerous.
Anthony Leal guarding the ball right now. A couple of minutes for him, a senior here in this first half.
Stay connected to Essegian. He's but hot.
10 seconds difference, shot and game clock. Hoiberg throws it over the head of Butunjel, and he cannot save it. And Indiana now will get the final shot.
Sam Hoiberg usually really good in those situations because he plays off 2 feet in the painted area. He made the right play, but too much juice on that pass.
So 8 first-half turnovers for Nebraska, but they're still up by 3.
The same way, you cannot lose sight of number 10, Luke Goody, in this possession.
Galloway will initiate. Here is Goody to try to tie it off the front of the iron. And a throwaway to end the half, but an entertaining, offensive-focused first half with Nebraska, who led by 10 early, LaFonso, ultimately leading by 3.
Then Mbako picked up too quick and went to the bench. It's going to be interesting to see how impactful he is. Sat for a long time in the first half.
And it's number 21 in the cream and crimson for Indiana. And Nebraska shooting 65% in that first half. With looks like that, it'll go up. That's Braxton Mia.
It's a really good read. Braxton Mia saw that baseline double team, slid right into the crease, and a beautiful pass there by Brice Williams.
SWB audio capture, not registered.
Galloway, here is Mbako. Those 2 fouls picked up in 33 seconds in that first half. Galloway, a lineup of 3. Off the mark, Mia with a rebound, and then a foul inside, but it's going to go against Nebraska. That's another guy, Riley Wooster, the point guard, who had 2 quick fouls in the first half, LaFonso, and now he's got 3.
The only thing I could think of is the referees, maybe he thought he submarined Myles Rice. Let's see here. Yeah, a little push there with the right arm. I know the fans don't like it, but it was the right call.
So Wooster right back to the bench. And Aaron Eulis returns.
Yeah, that's big because I thought he did a magnificent job of reading a mismatch he had with Myles Rice. He was able to get in the painted area a couple times.
Inside Renew. Kicks out against the double team. Way too much for Myles Rice.
You know the fans are saying, ball doesn't lie.
This is one of the most underappreciated home court advantages in college basketball. They fill it up. I mentioned last year they were a perfect 10-0 here in Big Ten play. It is really a big-time atmosphere.
Yeah, I'm so enjoying it. As you know, BG, it's my first time here, and the fans have been so warm and welcoming, even at the hotel. And to come in here tonight and feel the electricity in the building, it's been an incredible first experience for me.
They were kind to you? People were nice to you?
Unbelievably so.
And after you're so mean to them, thought the Indiana fans would be mad at you because, you know, they're playing your Notre Dame Fighting Irish in the college football playoff. Meanwhile, Renew, 3 fouls now, so he goes to the bench.
Indeed.
Taken away, Myles Rice picked his pocket. And a bump on the other end. Myles Rice, even though only 6 points.
SWB audio capture, not registered.
The game looked like it was starting to get away from Indiana in the first half. He was able to pick off 2 passes on consecutive plays and take him down. Finished one with the layup and the other one with the pass. And he's starting off the second half like he did the first. Really good read there to pick that one off and get out in transition.
Myles Rice misses the first of 2. Started his career at Washington State. First team all Pac-12 last year before transferring to Indiana.
Yep. Redshirted the 21-22 season to add strength, then diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma on his mom's birthday, for Pete's sake. Just September 12th, 22nd, endured 6 months of chemo, missing the 22-23 season. So it's a miracle that he's actually out there on the floor. Not only on the floor, but being impactful as well.
A real comeback story, a sign of courage for Myles Rice and what he has overcome. Gary driving short. And here comes Rice the other way with it. Goody. High arcing, too high arcing. But he got it back. And what a pass to Mbako. Galloway will try it, and Indiana back within a penny.
All off the hustle play of Luke Goody. 46-45.
Nebraska looking for their first Big Ten win of the season. Indiana trying to get to a 2-0 start in conference play. Williams hanging tough finish with a left.
He does that so incredibly well.
Dangerous pass, and Galloway with a turnover. Indiana has done better, though, at taking care of the ball. That's just their 5th turnover.
SWB audio capture, not registered.
It's a mismatch on the inside. The ball's got to find him.
How about that guy? Williams from the wing.
Well, they had him in a mismatch situation with Myles Rice on the right side of the floor, and then he was able to relocate out to the three-point area and knock that three down. That was big.
Points on the other end for Williams. Galloway, no. Mia with a rebound.
Galloway didn't have good balance on that shot.
Let's see if Williams looks to go over the 20-point mark. Gets it back. And there's a foul, and that's going to be against Goody, trying to fight through the contact. But, boy, Williams has been phenomenal tonight.
He really has. We saw him one possession, make a neat little pass inside, underneath, and there. He's been so good at getting to the basket and finishing with that left hand. A little relocation there. He doesn't need much space to get it off, and he drills that three.
See his experience. It's his 6th year in college, 131st game tonight.
Woo!
Gary was blocked by Mbako.
Wow, what a block.
Now on the other end, Mbako getting into the scoring column.
Sometimes you need to be able to create a play on the defensive end that gets you going on the offensive end. What a play. Meeting him at the summit to block it and then out in transition and finish.
Long three, Gary off the mark. Let's see if Indiana can get, though, McKenzie and Mbako going after that last sequence. Here he is. In and out. And he can knock that shot down.
SWB audio capture, not registered.
Weak side rebound, offensive board, and free throws coming for Andrew Morgan. Well, you notice that Sam did that when Father Fred couldn't see him. Father Fred may have had something to say to son Sam.
You still put Sam on punishment?
Fred has 3 sons. His son Jack, who played at Michigan State, and then Sam's got a twin, Charlie, who's down at TCU but not playing basketball. So I think Fred knows how to manage those boys.
No question about it.
SWB audio capture, not registered.
We'll keep our eye on it, though. Right out Nebraska by a handful. Renew with a left. Boy, when he gets to that shoulder, he's so tough.
Yeah, you can forget it. It's lights out. And the thing I've been most impressed with him this year is his poise when he gets down there. There was a lot of traffic there, but he knew where he wanted to get with the basketball. Really good poise and patience by number 5.
Inside, good slip, and a lay-in for Morgan.
Those opportunities are there for Nebraska because several times throughout the first half, Indiana is slow on the weak side with getting in the lane and filling the lane. Really good read there by Nebraska.
Galloway almost lost it. Rice down into Renew again. Curls it around the arc. Great ball movement for Indiana. And then Galloway cannot get to bounce. And Mbako, and they'll reset.
I thought it looked good as initially taking that shot.
Good feed over the top. Good block, though. Morgan doing it on both ends. Kid who spent the last 3 years at North Dakota State. And a good find for Fred Hoiberg. Essegian stopping, spinning, yes!
That's so good.
Largest lead for Nebraska since the early minutes when they were up 10.
Skip past the Goody. He's got to take that shot.
He does, but he missed it. But Mike Woodson will take that all day, won't he? There's Brice Williams. He's had the biggest night of anybody with 19.
I like it.
Oregon size advantage. Spinning. Missed the reverse, but how about Juwan Gary on the putback?
SWB audio capture, not registered.
Juwan Gary just makes plays. I thought he was quiet early in that first part of that first half and then got going hitting a three. And he's so valuable on both ends of the floor for the Cornhuskers that time, able to get him some perfect position for that putback and opportunity for a three-point play here.
And it has been a tough night for Mackenzie Mbako. He just picked up his third for Indiana.
Never able really to get a rhythm, and it's hard to do when you pick up 2 fouls within 33 seconds of the first half.
Can't complete the three-point play, but Indiana, they need to stop the bleeding right now. Rice will try to do that. He does. What a nifty move.
Yeah, the early push has availed much for the Hoosiers, particularly in the first half. They've got to continue to do that, especially on missed shots and turnovers. They've got to get out and run. They have some excellent finishers.
There's Ulis navigating. Knocked out. I think that went off of Nebraska. It did. Williams the last to touch it.
I thought Williams should have come up just a little bit to increase the angle to be able to make that pass, but because he stayed low, that's a tough pass to make.
Getting back to Mbako, though, and Mike Woodson has said this, LaFonso, they need consistency out of Mbako. Tonight it's the foul trouble, but he'll have one game where he has 20 and then he'll have 8. They need him to be a little more consistent, don't they?
No question about it, and he's trying to continually find his way. The offense will be there. It's more the defensive lapses that Coach Woody talks about all the time, and that's the area that he's going to have to firm up.
But this guy's having a nice night. 11 now for Rice.
He finds his areas, man. He's so good off the dribble.
So Nebraska was up 9. Up back-to-back hoops for the Hoosiers. Morgan with a spin. Another spin.
SWV audio capture, not registered.
In that blowout against Michigan State, it was Andrew Morgan who was consistent throughout that game with 14, and he's having a really good game tonight as well.
Hoiberg back off the bench, calling for a screen. Good dish. Ulis can't connect. Flying through, there's going to be a foul that sends us the other way. That's on Buchtunchel.
Folks, Morgan has done a terrific job tonight. He's got such terrific balance, and he waits and waits and waits. And when you have proper footwork and balance, you can be patient down there. Most guys will just throw up some of anything, but not him. He's getting to the shot he wants. And if you come and crowd him, he'll step through and under you and reverse it on the other side. I've been really impressed with his footwork.
Been impressed with this guy, too, Myles Rice. He's going to draw the contact here.
He's got a burst, doesn't he?
He does. So quick. They saw it last year in the Pac-12 at Washington State. Now they're going to see it this year in the Big Ten.
First team all Pac-12 and freshman of the year.
And you mentioned all he went through.
Yes.
During the 22-23 season with Hodgkin's lymphoma, was diagnosed September of 22. 6 weeks of chemo. His mom, Tamra, moved to Pullman, Washington. She drove him to all his chemo treatments, drove him to all his classes that he still attended. And the good news came last June when he was in remission. And knock on wood, he's been healthy ever since.
And in many ways, he looks like he hasn't missed a beat. The burst is there, the decision-making, the poise, the defense is there, the anticipation. He's been really good for the Hoosiers.
And he's keeping Indiana in this ball game. And almost got a steal. It was touched, so no over and back. Buchtunchel curls around.
SWB audio capture, not registered.
Absolutely love big-to-big passes.
Myles Rice, this time on a step back.
And he's, after a tough year of shooting from three 2 years ago, only 28% from three. He's been lights out this year, 42% from three, and shot that one with a high level of confidence. He's got it rolling right now.
He scored 9 straight for Indiana as Myles Rice. They do get a stop here on the defensive end, but they knock it out of bounds. Timeout on the floor. It will belong to Nebraska.
Those 9 points have come here in the second half. He's been terrific.
Family farm back in Waseca, population less than 10,000. So when he was transferring, he wanted to find a school that had an agriculture major. Nebraska did. He liked Fred Hoiberg.
Nice.
And here he is. Gel off the mark, and there's Rice with a rebound. Meanwhile, for Indiana, this has been the story right here. This guy Rice looking for 2 more. He scored 11 straight for the Hoosiers.
12 of his 19 here in the second half. He's been brilliant.
Keeping Indiana close after Nebraska
Another steal.
To 9, and here he goes again. 13 straight for Rice, and he has tied the game at 62.
What an impact.
Think about when he was coming out of high school, only mid-majors looked at him. There's a high major jam from Braxton Mia.
You're wondering how those guys are getting open. They're afraid to leave the weak side because there's shooters all over the floor for Nebraska. So once you can draw 2 to the ball, it's wide open on the backside. Really good interior passing.
Carlisle stop and pop, and the offense picking up for Indiana. This is turning into a really entertaining ball game.
Well, it helps when you have 2 guys on the floor for Indiana who can create their own shot. And we've seen a little bit from Rice, and now we're seeing it from Kaden Carlisle as well.
SWB audio capture, not registered.
And there, a bad pass and a turnover. You know, Mbako has never really gotten into rhythm, and Wooster hasn't either.
Myles Rice has shown the ability to be able to anticipate and get out in the passing lanes and finish. And then Mia here. Little dribble penetration by Hoiberg. Replaces on the backside and finishes over the top. The interior passing from Nebraska has really been impressive tonight.
Rice this time.
That's a heat check.
Yeah, I was just going to say the heat check goes awry. But he's earned the opportunity, right?
He surely has.
Wooster finding Williams. Williams, count it, and a foul. 4th 20-point game this year for the 6-year senior Brice Williams.
When a team is making a run at you, you want to get the basketball in the hands of your best player. A nice little curl cut over the top. Finds Kaden Carlisle trailing just a bit, which gave him the angle to be able to draw that contact and in. Opportunity for a 3-point play here.
Efficient, too. 7 of 11. So 4 rebounds and 4 assists for Williams.
Just finds a way to get to that foul line, man. Jeez.
But he left that one short. Excellent free throw shooter, over 90%.
Couldn't handle the compliment.
He does give Nebraska the lead back here as we approach 9 minutes. Boy, Rice tried to slip it in. How about Wooster getting on the deck, but ultimately Indiana saves it.
Numbers. Good job getting back by the Cornhuskers.
That's a shot clock here. 3-pointer, a little long, and a rebound to Wooster.
SWB audio capture, not registered.
Brice Williams got to go get one. He's got 2 smaller guards guarding him here.
Gary curling, and he draws the foul on Renew, and that is going to be the 4th on Indiana's Malik Renew.
Juwan Gary so hard to guard on the move, and he has that unique, uncanny ability to be able to get into a larger player's chest and draw contact. You know, the finish or get to the foul line or both.
Malik Renew did not like that call. Just like Mbako with his foul issues, it's been a little tough for Renew to get into a rhythm tonight.
Yeah.
Goody back in, the shooter for Indiana.
Indiana's going with a little smaller lineup. As I said before, usually when they're small this way, they actually play with a little greater pace. And with the ability of Keenan Carlisle to push the basketball, Myles Rice to push it, it's going to be important that Nebraska finds Luke Goody, because he missed a couple ones where he was wide open, and typically down the stretch he didn't miss those.
Little blood from Morgan near the elbow. They'll get that cleaned up. Remember, Nebraska jumped out to that 10-point lead.
Yes.
Kind of got things steadied, and since then it's been a seesaw battle, but Nebraska has led for the majority of this game. And you thought they would come out with their hair on fire because of that poor performance they had last weekend in East Lansing.
I mean, it was a shellacking, and Coach Hoiberg was not happy about it and had a couple of really tough, intense practices. Thought his team would bounce back, and they have.
SWB audio capture, not registered.
Tournament, so maybe that'll slow down Fred Hoiberg's heartbeat a little bit. Diamond Head Classic out there. Tough fadeaway, no good for the freshman Tucker. Williams tries to step right to Rice, and it's an offensive foul.
People are not going to like that call, but that was excellent defense by Myles Rice, because the primary defender is allowed to move sideways or opaquely, and he did a really nice job of catching that right in his numbers. What a play by Myles Rice. Good call by the official.
Rice carrying Indiana here in the second half. And too much. Air ball from Keenan Carlisle. Tough shooting night for Carlisle. He's missed all 5 of his triples. And Rice, that's going to put them in the bonus here with 7:40 remaining. Game 2 of the Big Ten season for both of these schools. The Hoosiers.
Then they can make the next pass, and they've been executing that at a high level over the last couple stanzas.
Both of these coaches, NBA pedigree, both played in the NBA, both coached in the NBA. Essegian cannot get the front end of the 1-and-1, and Indiana rebounds it. But you were talking at shoot-around. You still see some of those NBA things in Fred Hoiberg's offense.
There's no question about it. I mean, going even all the way back when he used to invert his offense, but now he's using a big, like mass rink is like, rink mass, forgive me, is like a perfect example of it. He allows him to create the offense because the guys are flying off of him, and he's able to make great decisions.
Of course, Fred Hoiberg, back when he played such a good shooter. They're going to have to put up a shot here. Galloway just got it off. And Goody is able to get the rebound and draw the foul.
Long shots lead to long rebounds, and you have to have your guards be able to stick people on the outside so that you can make sure that you come up with this one. Let's see if there are any box out here. No, he did a really nice job, actually, but your other guys have to come, and everybody's got to corral the basketball. But Connor Essegian did a really nice job. That ball just went over his head.
6 fouls on Nebraska, so both teams will shoot here for the final 7 minutes. Galloway almost stepped out of bounds. Goody, he'll take that all day and twice on Sunday, and he buries it on a Friday here in Lincoln.
And that's where you have to have poise defensively. You have to know, yes,
SWB audio capture, not registered.
Leave Luke Goody. He's too good of a shooter. That's a defensive breakdown for the Cornhuskers.
Indiana this year has not shot many threes, but tonight they put up 28 of them. That's their 8th make. Essegian, yes, falling to his seat.
That's that chase action that we were talking about, that Fred Hoiberg was talking about out of that timeout. Beautifully executed.
Indiana will try to tie it. The freshman Tucker can't hit. Putback's no good. And it's cleared by Morgan.
It's been good for a keep running it. Get it to the big and then run your actions.
Here they go.
That's back to him.
Wooster. Lost it going up. And Goody tried to save it, but Wooster comes up with it. Now, wait a second. They're going to have to take a look at the shot clock here. Yeah, they're going to reset it, saying that when that pass was thrown, that constituted possession, so they'll reset the shot clock. Mike Woodson disagrees.
They consider it a live ball turnover, so a whole new possession here. That's why there's 30 seconds on the clock. Or 29 in this case.
Essegian from the elbow, flying through. There's Morgan again.
How valuable has Morgan been?
Especially here in this second half. He kept it alive, and then Williams does his thing. Shot fake, Rice. Put back, Tucker. There's Ballo.
SWB audio capture, not registered.
Indiana has dominated the offensive glass, but not able to get anything there.
I thought Tucker got hit when he was going in for his initial layup.
Williams with 23 already. And Essegian coughs it up. Baseline drive by Rice. Good find. There's Galloway. Boy, a pretty good look. Outlet, Williams. He and Goody. And Goody blocked it. Nebraska will keep it with 4:33 to play.
What a hustle play by Luke Goody. Not known for his hops, but sprinting back, timing it beautifully, and pins it against the glass, saving what would have been an easy 2 points for the Cornhuskers. Great hustle by number 10.
We will take this timeout with him as Mike Woodson wants to talk it over with the Hoosiers down a handful for their teams. And we've got a great finish, it looks like, in store right now. Nebraska with the ball up 5. Point guard Riley Wooster had a quiet night and saddled with foul trouble. Gives it up. Long three. He does it again. 26 for Williams.
On that chase action, if you trail, those are those looks that we were talking about that are wide open. Really good read by Brice Williams.
Well, you get the sense Indiana needs something here. This is the guy that can do it. Goody, great look. There's Renew on the offensive glass. How about Ballo kicking it back out to Goody? And finally, Gary grabs it for Nebraska.
Goody doesn't miss those kind of looks. And again, I thought Renew got fouled when he was turning around to that hook shot.
As mentioned it, Indiana has gotten a lot of offensive rebounds, but they haven't turned it into points.
Correct. I like it.
7-0 run for Nebraska. Could it be 10-0? Yes. Largest lead for Nebraska tonight. Timeout on the floor.
Brice Williams continues his spectacular play. You trail, don't get up and help. He knocks down that three. 26 points in the game, and then comes back with a beautiful pass to his partner, Juwan Gary. From three, they were started 5 of 8. Since then, 3 of 25.
And Myles Rice, who has been so good, he hasn't scored in 7 minutes. Galloway, no, another miss from deep. Renew is able to draw the foul. That is the 4th on number 4, Juwan Gary.
Yeah, that's been one of the Hoosiers' saving graces there. They've been extraordinary on the offensive glass. That's now 15 offensive rebounds for the Hoosiers, but they've not been able to capitalize. Only 8 points off of those 14 offensive rebounds.
And you said it, the looks from deep have been good, and they've been by normally very capable shooters, but they just haven't been able to get them to drop tonight.
Luke Goody was shooting that thing early in the game, and he gets back-to-back threes from that left corner where he's usually, man, precision, and missed a couple of those. And you've got to be able to make those shots to take that defense out of packing the lane.
1 of 2 for
SWB audio capture, not registered.
A little over 3 minutes remaining at Pinnacle Bank Arena in front of a shutout crowd of over 15,000.
Be interesting to see if Indiana traps some of those exchanges to try to get a couple turnovers to get out in transition. Not so far.
Williams guarded by Galloway.
Could be.
Desperation fade away. Oh my! He has done it all tonight. Renew from deep, in and out. Rice flying in. There is a lid on that.
That's really been the story of this game over the last 4 minutes. Indiana getting some wide open looks, whether it be from 3 or inside or the foul line, and not able to capitalize. While Brice Williams, on the other hand, has been absolutely extraordinary with this play.
Yeah, this is his game tonight. He's 2 away from 30. At a timeout with 8 to shoot, 2:04 to play as Nebraska, biggest lead of the night as they try to get their first Big Ten win of the season. Well, this holiday season, help Fox Sports give the gift of play to kids in need. Visit goodsports.org/Fox Sports, or you can scan the QR code on your screen to handpick equipment from your favorite sport to donate today. The last 4.5 minutes is 12-1 run for Nebraska. This is what Fred Hoiberg was talking about when he was looking for better effort, more consistency from his team off that loss at Michigan State, and they've showed it so far tonight.
The thing he was disappointed with was the hustle, lack thereof, and the lack of toughness and crunch.
SWP audio capture not registered.
I thought their defensive rotations have been stout. They know who they wanted to take shots from the perimeter and who they wanted to eliminate. And then your superstar player in Brice Williams has been extraordinary with his play.
Keep in mind here, 8 on the shot clock. There's a foul, though, before that gets inbounded. That's on Oumar Ballo, just his second, but it will mean free throws for Nebraska.
That's the last thing you want, is being down 12 points to give free points from the foul line to your opponent.
So far, it's the casually dressed coaches of Nebraska over the dapper dressed coaches of Indiana here tonight.
Yeah, you know how much I love seeing coaches wear their suit and ties, and to your point, casuals winning out.
A casual look that took over during COVID, Nebraska, but they pulled it off well over there.
Yeah, that's true. Shirts are tucked in these.
Morgan's had a big second half. It's 1 of 2. Oh, Indiana almost fumbled it out of bounds. Well, less than 2 minutes. Hoosiers need something in a hurry now. Galloway throws it away.
There's that defense coming through. They've not been able to turn over Indiana a lot in this game. Indiana only 7 turnovers, and they've had struggles with taking care of the basketball, but when you need one, the Cornhuskers doing a great job again along that baseline, forcing a very tough skip pass along the baseline and create the turnover.
And Indiana's little 4-game win streak, including an impressive win Monday against Minnesota, that looks like it's going to go by the wayside here in Lincoln tonight.
Bacco in foul trouble, never got into a flow. Renew got in foul trouble, never in the flow. Hard to win on the road, but
SWP audio capture not registered.
Players not having an impact on the game.
Going forward, that's going to be the formula for Indiana, right? You've got to get more consistency from those guys.
There's no question. And in a rugged Big Ten that, in my mind, is flat. And what I mean by that is the best team in the Big Ten, the worst team in the Big Ten playing on a neutral court, I think it's a less than 10-point game. And so these games are going to be tough. They're going to be hard to play. And because of that, you've got to have your best players on the floor all the time, clicking on all cylinders. No nights off for those 3 guys.
While Brice Williams sitting on the doorstep of 30 points, his career high is 32.
Trust your judgment for TV.
And he's got 30. This Brice Williams. Final 80 seconds. Ballo just 2 points tonight. Averages 15. This has never gotten on track. So Nebraska is going to avenge that 37-point loss this weekend against Michigan State with a bounce-back victory here at home against Indiana.
Nebraska keeping it simple with their offensive execution, getting it into the hands of their best player here in the second half, and he has taken over this game. Brice Williams has been absolutely sensational.
And a turnover. They've got numbers if they want to take advantage. Hoiberg fouled by Myles Rice.
The 3-ball, which was so good.
SWV audio capture, not registered.
At one point, they were 5 of 8 from 3. Since then, 3 of their last 27.
Quick math by you, by the way.
I was trying hard there.
Yeah, and it's a team coming in Indiana that was only attempting 17 threes a game. That's near the bottom, not only of the Big Ten, but of all the college basketball.
Sure. Now credit them, because what they were doing is taking the shots that the defense was giving them. And again, you're getting good shooters taking shots. Luke Goody's a really good 3-point shooter. Trey Galloway's a good 3-point shooter. And they just were not able to make them with any consistency here in the second half.
Fred's son, Sam Hoiberg, gets in the scoring column. And this is going to turn out to be a wider margin than the game actually was. Nebraska closing on a big run here. 17-1 run over the last 6 minutes. And there is the turnover that's going to put the finishing touches on this one. And in front of a full house tonight in Lincoln, Nebraska gets their first Big Ten win of the season.
What an impressive display on both ends of the floor in the last 3 minutes of this